Alright guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the Ironman account. Today we've got a lot to report on. Last episode we left off with 81 ranged and we've been going ham on the crabs for now. Getting quite a few range levels in amongst some other things. Noteworthy of course would be the 70 farming that we have unlocked. That is a prerequisite for Song of the Elves and I'm very happy to get that done. Outside of that, more range training of course, but 72 hunter has been done as well. I mentioned that I'd be doing some high elks in addition to the range training, and we ended up managing to get 2 magic levels. We got to 80 and of course 81. Adding in 69 agility is a nice way to switch things up a little bit. And outside of that, Haspori has also been slain, unlocking us the easy combat achievement tasks. But the cherry on top of the cake that we have just consumed is the 89 ranged I just got then. So what this means is that I'm going to allow myself to leave this prison 8 range levels straight with nothing but broad bolts with suboptimal range gear. I think that's a long enough of a sentence. Deadlines have been met, episodes have been edited, and it's time that we get back onto Slayer. I've been given a cuirass task and I'm very curious to see what I can actually wear in order to do this task. I'd really like to get myself a leaf bladed battle axe this episode. I think that'd be a sweet upgrade to get, but of course until we do get that upgrade we're going to be ranging the cuirass. So without further ado, let's get into our best in slot range gear setup that we have available and see what we look like. Bloody shower or something. Anyway, are you ready for the reveal? I'm not really, to be honest, but here it is. This is my best in slot range setup for now. I thought I had a green body, but I don't. So in order to rectify that, we're going to go teleport with Thy Chronicle and buy ourselves a green d'hide body. I think we can buy one from the Champions Guild. I could be wrong. It might be necessary to go to OSRS. I have the sinking suspicion that's going to be correct. There's 2 NPCs on this upper floor. Let's see, do either of them sell a green body top? No, they don't. Oh my god, off to Edgeville I go. I must say, it's good to get out and about. I feel like I haven't actually played this game in a week. On the plus side, we have ourselves a green d'hide body, and this just looks so bad, dude. I really need like a clue scroll top because the godhide upgrades, the d'hide bodies, they don't allow me to have this stuff on my shoulders, which looks kind of terrible, but anyway, this is what we're working with for now. That's the joys of Ironman, I suppose. You have yourself best in slot gear setups that look like this, even though you know deep down that they're absolutely horrendous. But like I said before, I have myself a cuirass task and I'm hoping to get myself a nice little leaf bladed sword. Thanks to all the range training that I've done in the past week, I don't even know how long it's been to be honest, we now essentially have just equipped ourselves with a permanent ranging potion. I don't remember the coordinates for the Slayer Cave. Thankfully, the shortcut is right at the very top, so AJR it is. That's a reason, once again, why I want the Eternal Gem. I never have to think about this coordinate ever again, so gonna get stuck into this. I believe I have 174 to do, 164 to do, I stand corrected. So that might take quite a while, but I dare say with this ranging setup, as bad as it is, it's better than the setup I was using before. The leaf-bladed spear with a melee setup was absolutely terrible, and an added benefit of this setup is that I don't have to prayer flick at all. I can kind of chill out. Not that I haven't done anything but chill out for the last few days, but it should be a good increase in DPS thanks to the extra range levels and thanks to the more premium setup. The only thing I could have optimized in this situation is replacing the Chronicle with the Tome of Fire. I bought Fire Runes like a bot, just forgetting that I've got that thing. The Tome of Fire, like, for not having a ranged offhand option, I could actually make myself a shield. I'm a bit of an idiot, but hypothetically, if it was impossible for me to have an offhand right now, the Tome of Fire is actually quite nice. Those extra magic levels that I managed to get while training my ranged came in handy, and I think we're at the point where the Warp Scepter becomes a equal or better DPS output to the Ivan staff, so I no longer have to like worry about using that staff, or the scepter rather, and we can move forward hitting some decent hits with the Warp Scepter as well. Alright, there is 75 Slayer. I totally forgot I was like 1 kill away from getting a level. So that unlocks us. What does that unlock us, actually? I got my level up message interrupted. Gargoyles, that's it. So that task isn't going to be awesome in terms of DPS, but for raw like GP output, that's going to be super helpful for maintaining the kingdom. I can't believe I forgot that. I was just checking the skills, trying to figure out what shield could I make in theory, and then I get myself a Slayer level. A rude interruption, but a welcome one nonetheless. Is it even an Ironman episode if it doesn't include a mining level? The answer will inevitably have to be yes, otherwise we have 10 episodes left. What is this? TY. Oh my god. I've been completely thrown off. Just the sandwich, sir. I don't have the sandwich lady turned on in random events, so to see the sandwich giving me a congratulations is a bit of a head spin. But anyway, there is 89 mining. 3 more levels to go until we can get the old amethyst. This guy's a legend. What the hell? If any of you see this man in game, give him some love. But speaking of giving things love, we brought the old tree out of the box. He's in a cave right now, so he's not exactly getting sunlight, but it's as good as it's going to get for now. I haven't really been training a whole lot of mining lately, so these levels might be a bit fewer and further between, but with only 3 left to go, who knows, maybe I'll be a little bit more motivated to get in the mines. And here we have, in full display, why early game Slayer sucks ballsack. 3 skips later, we managed to get a task that wasn't totally horrendous. We got 142 blood velds from Neve. We quickly polished those off, as well as the next task, allowing us to go for our uber boosted 100th task with Kona. Fortunately, we got a fairly respectable task that wasn't too difficult, and in other fantastic news, killing Hespori has netted us something extremely valuable, and that is the bottomless compost bucket. Of course, what else could it possibly be? Still in a bit of a high after my bottomless compost bucket drop. I did not expect to get that at all, but there is the task complete for Kona. That is 100 tasks complete and received 450 points. That is so good. Oh my god. Okay, with that I'll be able to extend a bunch of things. I didn't think I'd be able to afford that anytime soon. Oh, I need to grab those herbs actually. I don't think I'm going to be too greedy with the way that I spend these points because, as you're aware, it can be very likely that you get binned with a bunch of crappy tasks that you need to skip. So for now, I think all I'm going to do is extend Dust Devils. Yes, the dust you shall return. Confirm that. Blood Velds might be worth unlocking the extension for in the future, but for now, I think that's all we'll unlock. Leaves myself plenty of points in reserve if I get some bad tasks. Also, if I ever get a Gargoyle task, I will definitely need to unlock that automatic smashing. Ooh, you know what? Screw it. Let's get hot stuff as well. This will unlock Tazars. I'm not sure if the first Tazar task that I get, if I'll try Jad, but you know what? Screw it. We'll do it. I've never done a Slayer task and gone for a Jad in my life, so, you know, there's a first time for everything. Hot stuff unlocked. With Judd on the brain, it was time for me to assess where I'm at in terms of gear, come to the conclusion within 4.5 split seconds that I'm inadequate, and make a plan accordingly. So part of that plan was to do some clue scrolls and hopefully get some sort of gear that would help boost my Jad or Fight Cave's prowess. And unfortunately, one of the clue scrolls that I got quite deep into required me to unlock the Regal Pomp music track, which is a music track that is unlocked via the Kingdom Divided quest, I believe. So that basically just sent me down a rabbit hole that also lasted me quite a long period of time. I banged out as many quests that were relevant for the quest, and there was a few other in the periphery that I got done that weren't necessary to do per se, but I don't know, I just wanted to scratch the questing itch. I have like burst periods where I just go on uber questing sprees. I'm always glad that I do them, and I can't imagine there's too many of those sprees that I can go on, but system updates, once again, like I'm literally recording this commentary as a system update is occurring, and during my questing grind, there was no exception to the frequency of these occurring. It was a race against the clock to get as many quests done as I possibly could. I would list them all off, but I mean, you just kind of have to look at the screen because the sheer quantity of quests that I did was a little ridiculous. It's not too insane, but like at the same time, I'm sure you can tell which quests I got done. Essentially, I looked at the Kingdom Divided quest and did absolutely every single prereq that I had not done, with a couple of extra cherries on top. The only downside to these quests is that they weren't realistically that rewarding. A lot of them didn't really give a whole lot of quest points or any experience that was substantial, and that the main utility of getting the quests done was just to get the prerequisite element out of the way. One other major downside that I hadn't actually considered is that with the completion of the Client of Korend quest, I believe it is called, I have unlocked the ability to teleport to Korend. Normally, that means, yay, extra teleports, I can move around the map better, but if any of you have tried a High Elk recently, you'll notice that the teleports are kind of just all like situated around the High Elk spell, and bar none, I think the Client of Korend, or the Korend teleport, rather, is the one that I often misclick the most, and because I hadn't actually unlocked that teleport, I wasn't getting punished for that misclick mistake. Occasionally, Valamore TPs, you've probably seen quite a few of those in this series. I absolutely haven't included every single one, but the Client of Korend, oh my goodness, if I try to document every single time I accidentally teleport to that place, it's gonna, like, these videos will be consistently an hour long, but aiming to avoid that, I also wanted to show you this part of the quest here. In previous attempts of doing this quest, I've done it with a range setup, and I just kind of YOLO'd it with a melee setup this time around just to see if it was possible. It's just kind of like a personal Mythbusters thing. I very rarely will ever do this. I'll kind of just copy someone else's template and go from there. But no, even with my stats, they're like not awesome, but they're not terrible. But the overall fight isn't too bad, and I was actually quite surprised how easy it was. When I watched his health bar go back to full, I shit my pants and I was like, okay, never mind, I got cocky. There's no way a thought or an idea that I have actually manifests in a positive result. But no, that was the actual end of the fight, and we got put into the fetal position as a reward. But all in all, we got the Kingdom Divided quest complete, the major quest that we were aiming to chase down. This gave us 20,000 Herblore experience, which is a good little boost. It's bittersweet. Getting my Herblore is awesome, of course, but what that means is that every other skill I need to train even higher just to make sure I don't get further tiers of Guthix reward from that. So after we completed the quest, of course, we unlocked the music track and we were able to go and do our first clue scroll. And as you can see, we got ourselves a ranged upgrade, which is absolutely perfect. I think it's realistically the best item we could have got within reasonable expectations. Obviously, God D-Hide would be great, but even if we got the chaps, we've already got the red chaps, and the body is a more potent item in general, so going from green to black in the D-Hide, just from one clue, I think it was well worth the time investment. After the fact, I was kind of in the mood for doing some more clue scrolls. Like, it's great and all to get the black D-Hide body, but as I said before, the chaps would be nice, and any other upgrade is also welcome. So we ended up blocking Fire Giants. I find this task to be mediocre. I don't hate it as much as some other people do, but it's definitely a worthwhile block considering how weighty the task is. But afterwards, we managed to complete another clue scroll. I was actually surprised. A lot of these clues, I'm getting like high GP reward quantities, but it's mainly just being bolstered by the fact that purple sweets are a ridiculous price at the moment. So I mean, it looks good in the chat box, but it's realistically not that great. I'm still looking for actual upgrades. From there, Neve just gave us an absolute beauty of a task with 246 Dust Devils. Following that, we kept up with the clue scroll momentum, but we did run into a bit of a problem. The requirements for this clue required me to get my fishing up. I also needed to get up some crafting, and I thought I would go and make an attempt at getting a different hard clue step. The clue step mechanics aren't entirely clear to me, and with the 1 hour on the ground ability for clues to sustain themselves, I was thinking I could like juggle it, even though it's like a 3-step into the clue. And unfortunately, what I accidentally did, instead of allowing myself to bypass that step, I ended up just flat out resetting the clue I was on. At the point that I got that fishing guild requirement, I was like, okay, this is going to suck, but I'm going to do it. I'm 3 steps into this clue, and when I got that second clue and I like tried to juggle around, I don't know how the mechanics work at all, but what ended up happening is that I actually just reset the thing back to 0, and I ended up getting a dud clue in replacement of it. But anyway, to assuage my woes, we went and got ourselves 90 mining. We managed to run into Chunky Verf there. It's always weird to see a YouTube personality in-game. It's kind of a strange experience. After we got our 90 mining, we went off and headed back to the kingdom to see where things were going. We managed to pluck out almost 8,000 flax from the... They're not slaves. What are they called? I was going to re-record that entirely, but I'm just leaving it in. Screw it. From there, seeing all that flax was a great motivator to get stuck into the Lunar Diplomacy quest. This is a little bit of an exciting one, I dare say. Agility, we're going to put a little bow on it for now because there is 70 complete. We can now do Song with the Elves. That is the requirement that we've been looking for. Agility courses has been recently buffed, and I think if I were to do the Relica course at this level, I probably should have checked the message. It'll be a bit more buffed EXP per hour, so if we do need to get agility out for like a diary or something, that'll be sweet, but I don't actually need to do any more for now. I need to go to a bank. I don't know why I just climbed that wall. Alright, where was I before I rudely interrupted myself? Okay, so following the Lunar Diplomacy quest completion, I went ahead and cut all of my U-logs. Now we have almost 16,500 U-longs. I ended up stringing a few of them. We currently are on the Lunar Spellbook, and I've just been using the Flaxmake spell. I might gear up for that so I can demonstrate. Alright, so this is pretty much the bare bones setup. We've got an air staff of some description. We've got 25 free inventory spaces. We go to our flax, withdraw them all, and we can do 5 casts of the spin flax spell. It does 5 at a time, which is why we don't have 26 or 24 free inventory spaces. I find the inventory viewer plugin to be quite helpful. Yours may not look like this by default, but with some little bit of tweaks you can do this. This just basically enables me to stay on the magic menu the whole time. I don't need to pay attention to my inventory because obviously I can see it on my screen. So the only downside to this is that I'm limited in my astral and nature runes, so I will need to craft a bit more of both. I think for the nature runes I'm going to primarily go to the Guardians of the Rift, and for the astrals I may purchase them from the chicken house up at the, Bhagha Yaga's house. I don't know the name of that NPC. But yeah, so I'm going to buy out as many astral runes as necessary to get all 16,000 U-bows sorted out, and then we'll head off to the Guardians of the Rift to follow up with the natures. On top of that, the nature runes required not only for the bowstring creation, but also the alchemy. So I think I have a lot of Guardians of the Rift on the horizon, I dare say, but that's what I'm going to do for now. That is the plan and the course of action I'm going to take. I'll report back when we've made some progress. In preparation for our future endeavors, we've relocated to the Guardians of the Rift, but this will be the one and only level we get for now, because as you can see, we are low as balls on astral runes, but there's 66 crafting, blue d'hide vambraces. I think I needed those for a clue step at some point, so any crafting level at this point is just money right now, because I just can't be asked going for a stew boost or something to create some obscure like clue scroll item. But anyway, we've only got 127 casts of these left, getting around a little bit over 80,000 EXP in magic and crafting at the same time, which is kind of nice. I'm actually looking forward to doing this all in one block so we can see how many crafting levels we have actually got stored up with all of these resources. But anyway, once I have done all these bowstrings, all the ones I can do at least, I'll be stringing them into longbows, and then at that point I'll be forced to get back into the Rift. I don't know why I'm so apprehensive. I think I'm just in go mode, and the last thing I want to do is sit in Guardians of the Rift for like multiple days. So there's a bit of a mismatch of my energy and what needs to be done, but anyway, that is just how Ironman goes sometimes, I'm afraid. Alright, I lied a little bit, I must confess. We did get a fletching level whilst training last night on the phone, so we've gone from 79 to 81 fletching. Apologies for the pea-coloured screen, but yeah, there is 81 done. This will be the final level that we get before we head into the Rift. I feel like I'm procrastinating hardcore right now. But yeah, we've got 2,500 more bowstrings. That'll get us down to a little over 13,000 longbows unstrung without a bowstring to call their friend. Which, I don't know, considering that we're going to get it in a couple of days passively from the kingdom, it's not too much. And getting, 85k XP an hour in crafting and magic, I don't know what that equates to, but you can do somewhere in the ballpark of like 5,000 bowstrings per hour, so the numbers might look big, but honestly, the processing rate that I get to do this with isn't too bad. The hardest part will just be acquiring the runes, so I'm going to finish fletching these bowstrings into fully constructed bows, and then we'll get stuck into the hard part. Alright, so I went and checked. If you perform this absolutely perfectly, you'll be getting 90,000 experience in crafting and magic per hour, and that equates to about 6,000 bowstrings per hour. So yeah, even if we have over, 13,500 bowstrings we need to make, it's not really that much. It's a little over 2 hours, and considering the yield that we're going to get from this, I mean, that's a small price to pay in my book. Man, oh man, does this place feel like an absolute time sink. There is like a gravity to Guardians of the Rift that I just know if I go near it, I'm not going to be able to leave anytime soon. We managed to hit 84 rune crafting, and as well as getting 67 crafting. But where we are right now, I guess we'll transition to the live gameplay. It's a bit weird to talk about things in the past whilst doing something in the present, but as you can imagine, 84 rune crafting, what comes after that? We can all count, can't we? Of course we can. This is going to be 85. We can now make our colossal pouch. I've just been rocking the 2 pouches for now. I've been doing a little bit of Guardians of the Rift on my phone, and I find just those extra inputs to be super annoying, especially with like a phone that you just have to like just pinpoint precision press just to get 3 essence out of a pouch. Like, no thank you. We also have over 460 pulls that we can do, and that'll contribute towards some additional runes. So, from where we left off last clip where I was flax making, we had less than 2,000 natures. This is the first time I've looked at the bank, by the way. We almost have 10,000, so that's plus 8k in the kitty right there without opening any of the pulls. So with that said, what I will do now is obviously what we're going to do is grab the pouches that we have before, grab the needle that we were so fortunate to obtain quite a few episodes ago, and we're going to go ahead and make this into the colossal pouch. Let's have a look. Combine them. Yes, please. This makes a freaky ass looking thing. 1,000 crafting experience. This reminds me of Oogie Boogie from, what is it, The Nightmare Before Christmas. There's a particular patchwork that is very reminiscent of this colossal pouch. But anyway, that is a sick upgrade. What I'm going to do now is open all of these pulls. You guys are familiar with the process. I've almost greenlogged the bloody thing, but I'll record, and if anything happens, I'll let you know. But if not, we'll be skipping ahead to once all these pulls are done. But anyway, for now, 85 rune crafting. Very, very nice. 10,000 nature runes. Perfect. What can we get from these pulls? Dude, no way. I don't know why I didn't consider that I could get a pet from here. I've already got it on another account. I just mentally checked out on that being a possibility. 2 pets in 2 videos. What is happening in this game? As soon as I saw that message, I'm like, oh my god, I got a duplicate pet. But no, I actually don't have that pet right now. Okay. We've gotten 2 sick looking pets in 2 videos. I can't actually believe the RNG of this account. It is ridiculous. Alrighty, 460 pulls later, we have now exhausted each of the pulls that we have remaining. As I said before in previous episodes, the catalytic and elemental balance has gone out of whack. Now that I have access to deaths and whatnot, I'm definitely biasing things to catalytic a lot, and as a result, I have over 100 extra catalytic points. So if I ever do elemental hardcore, I can get some more points on top of that. I accidentally banked my pearls like a dum-dum before. The runes should be relatively accurate to what we have. The law runes I accidentally deposited, but I withdrew a rough amount equating to what I deposited. So all in all, this is what we managed to get. Approximately 5,000 additional nature runes, which is sick. I think in total I'm going to need about 20k. So we're about 75% the way there. But as you know, intricate pouches also have a chance of dropping nature runes when you open them. So we're going to go ahead and open all these additional bad boys up. Let's just deposit all of that, and we have a neat inventory filled with intricate pouches. This is a very niche experience. I found out you can just click the last one in your inventory and it will open them all up. Oh, god damn it. Can I drop these? I'm very scared to drop it on the off chance that like doing so will end up like destroying it. But yeah, if we just another team head, every single time I do this, I get a dragon medium helm. We also got a clue scroll, which, look, I've got a mixed relationship with these at the moment. It looks like we can do that one there back in the basement, I suppose we go. I'm also stockpiling a bunch of the talismans. Perhaps they'll be useful for getting some free rune crafting experience, I'm not too sure. This tarnish locket, this might be a bit of a rare drop, but I think all it realistically does is I can turn it in to get a teleport back to this place, but considering there's a minigame teleport that serves a similar purpose, it's not a huge upgrade, but I guess it is a collection log, perhaps. Maybe I've already got it in the past, I don't really know, otherwise it would have appeared in the chat log, but more importantly I suppose, we've got 383 astral runes, which is okay, and 800 additional natures, so a little bit of a boost to both of those rune supplies, another dragon medium helm, and a clue scroll I probably won't be able to do, but all in all, 460 pulls well spent. I think that's a total of, what is it, Runelight tells me, oh my god, why can't I read? 1,138 pulls. I know for a fact that I got the pet within 1000 pulls. I think it was around 990, and the pet rate drop chance is 1 in 4000. So the ridiculous luck of this account continues. I guess all that is left to answer right now is, can I complete this hard clue scroll? I will answer that question in due time. For now, I need to get myself 5,000 additional nature runes, but luckily I've got a very convenient pouch to make that happen. So anyway, let's get back into the rift with my new friend. You know, when you're kind of close to a level, but not close enough to justify staying up awake and, you know, ruining your sleep schedule to make sure you get that level, you do it in the morning. You say you don't have to do it right now. Yeah, I didn't actually do the responsible thing. I did stay up and I've ruined my sleep schedule. But on the plus side, we got a rune crafting level. In other news, good night. I need to go to sleep. This is dumb. I'm being dumb right now. But I've got rune crafting XP, so who cares? And just like that, Guardians of the Rift has deleted several days of my existence from my memory. So there is 87 rune crafting, which is a little bit of a consolation prize of, you know, half a week being destroyed. I'm very curious to see how many nature runes we've actually gotten. When I go and do these grinds, I check out mentally. I'm not even here half the time. And I'm hoping that we've cleared the 20,000 nature rune threshold. But if we haven't, after this game is completed, we should have over 250 pulls by the looks of things. So hopefully we can pick up the scraps if necessary, because the pulls that we get from the little belly boy, as well as the intricate pouches, should be enough to get me across the line if I haven't managed to clear that 20k threshold. And obviously anything over 20k, the more the better. So I'll check in with you guys after this game is over. Unfortunately, if I leave, I get penalized. So I'm going to wait this one out, and when it's over, we'll go check in with the bank. There's no way I get to the end. It's such a shame you can't, like, give your credits to the dude at the very end. Like, you could just stand next to him when there's, like, 1 second left and you're not able to redeem the things that you've gotten. But anyway, there is the game complete. We have 253 pulls if we so desired to go and do so. My bank pin isn't needing to be put in. What a pleasant surprise. Okay, I've gone way overkill. Holy crap. Okay, 27,000 nature runes. I don't even think I need to do any pulls. We've got an excessive amount of death runes and chaos runes. Like I said, I check out mentally. I'm not even here. So this is as much of a surprise to me as it may be to you. So this is looking quite nice, actually. Guardians of the Rift is amazing. What the hell? So from here, what I need to do, what I have been doing rather, if I get booted from a game, let's say I get 6 hour logged and I can't get back into the match, what I'll do is I'll deposit my pouch and I'll do my bowstringing. So with all of those moments occurring, I've managed to string most of them in terms of how many bowstrings I have. And I imagine if I go to my kingdom, I might even be able to get enough flax to finish off the rest of this. Perhaps not, but what I'm going to do is do what I can do in terms of processing regarding making bowstrings as well as stringing bows. And once I've run out of all the bits and bobs that I can process, I guess I'll go from there, because there's like, I have to mentally check in and figure out what exactly needs to be done. But I've got everything written down, and I won't leave it to memory right now, but all you need to know is that I'm going to be making a lot of bows and a lot of bowstrings. Okie dokie, so I've run out of all my bowstrings that I can use, and it is time to go make a little bit of money, because I need to buy myself some astral runes. I know I can use pulls, and from those pulls I can get astrals, but I think it'll be much more time efficient if I am to alch all of my valuables right here. Anything of a decent value or above, I think we can just smash out and then use that to buy astrals. Once all the astrals have been bought with the cash that I'm going to make here, I can then make all of my bowstrings with the spells. So that was weird. How did that happen? So everything has been done. All I need to do is head north and go to Baba Yaga's. I think that, look, I'll get confirmation in the positive or the negative, whether or not that's actually the name of the NPC. I'm curious to see what it actually is called. I'm pretty sure it's Baba Yaga, right? Baba Yaga it is. All right, so we have a little bit over $1 million. I didn't think I had that much in just alchables there, but we're going to spend a lot of our... Actually, no, the astral runes are only like 60 coins each or even less. So I'm going to hop through a bunch of worlds. This should be very, very quick to get the astrals. And that's a good sign, actually. If you've ever spam bought astrals before, seeing almost 200 in stock is a very good sign. So I'm going to world hop a little bit. It's a shame that we still... Oh, that's more typical. 26, you bugger. If you've ever bought astrals before, you're probably familiar with the fact that the stock count will be pretty inconsistent and or it'll be pretty low. So anything over 200 is an absolute blessing. Unfortunately, the Flax Make spell only requires 1 Astral Rune, I believe, and with 1 Astral Rune, I convert 5 flax into bowstrings. So with approximately, 14,000 bows that I need to make, I'll only need to get, less than 3,000 Astral Runes, and I've been talking crap for like a minute right now, and I'm a third of the way there, so that is very good. One thing that's not great is that I forgot to switch my bloody spellbook back, so once I've bought all the Astral Runes, 14 at a time apparently, we're going to go back and change our spellbook once again, and start getting into making this flax into bowstrings. Ooh, 250. I've made a mental game with myself. I'll do this until I find a 250 world. That looks like it is. Iron Goofin might... Not this time, buddy. Those are my 250 astrals. So we've got a little bit of an excess, which is good. I noted that we needed only 3,000, but astral runes, I'm never going to complain about having extra. And considering that they're not that, difficult to obtain, I don't mind having more in reserve. The astral spellbook is very, very handy, and having extra runes to facilitate it is definitely going to be necessary. I dare say... Piss off, you sucker. How do you even say that word? Anyway, I will definitely need a lot more than 5,500 Astral Runes in my Ironman career. So we've now got the spellbook back of choice. We're going to go... I can't use the bloody home teleport. We're going to run back to the bank and finally get started processing this stuff. All in all, that only cost me, 300k? So pretty happy with that. I was wondering why the number 768 was familiar in my brain, but I didn't know why. I just remembered, maybe you recall, the high alchemy value of the yew longbow is 768, I believe. I don't know why that's just purely embedded in my brain, but it absolutely is. Alright, enough chit chat. There is 69 and 70 crafting back to back. 70, what can we do with that? Diamond amulets, that would have bypassed the amulet, the power amulet job we got from the archaeologist. We don't need to do that, of course. And crystal helms and signets. It's a bit of a weird thing to have a basic power ammy and a very strong helmet at the same time for the same level. Very weird. Anyway, one thing I want to do as well, I feel like I'm making spaghetti bolognese and I'm just putting vegetables in the sauce, but for a second here, indulge that analogy because we're going to get ourselves a fletching level. I feel like I just need to sneak them into the sauce. They're just kind of here, they just kind of appear randomly, and there's no real fletching narrative to spin. They just happen from time to time. So we can now make amethyst arrows, which is cool. Probably won't be using any of those anytime soon, but an actual unlock for the skill, I'm happy with that. Alright, so checking in on the bank, we've got about 1,000 flax left to craft into bowstrings. And then from there, we've got a little over half the bowstrings worth in terms of making the full bows. So we're definitely going to be bottlenecked by the flax count, and we have to figure out a plan of what I'm going to do over the next couple of days. I'm definitely not going to get flax manually. Screw that, bro. So what I might do to kill the time is initiate part of my plan that is to happen after the full thing is done. I like to just segment things in their entirety, right? Get absolutely every resource required to start a journey and then move on to that journey. So it's going to be a bit weird, but I'm going to be 80% the way there, having everything I need. But my general plan will be to create all of these longbows, of course, and then we're going to do a lot of high alchemy, of course. High alchemy itself isn't that interesting, but what you can do to make it interesting is other things, of course. So the thing that I aim to do whilst alching all of these bows is actually going to be doing the hunter rumors, funnily enough. We have the ability to do the expert hunter rumors at 72, coincidentally. I haven't been training with birdhouses over the last few days. It's just been a bit too impractical to leave Guardians of the Rift. As you know, it's a pain in the ass to try and get back into a match once you've left. And so, once all of these yew longbows are strung, I'm going to grab out a fat stack of nature runes and get alching on them. The reason why I'm going to be doing these hunter rumors is there's going to be quite a few reasons, to be honest, and I'll kind of elaborate moving forward, but I want to obtain the new crossbow that's been recently released and get a good stock of ammunition. The 3-tick element of that crossbow is absurd. I used to really love playing with the hunter crossbow back in the day, and I think the new version of the crossbow is just a buffed version of that old crossbow, and because it's such a niche weapon, I just want to have it. So I think doing all of these hunter rumors is going to be really beneficial, and of course we're going to make a boatload of money with all of these high alks. Now, after the disaster that happened last week at the Tears of Guthix, the last thing I would expect to ever do is to intentionally go back there and get myself some more smithing experience. But considering how long all of these things are going to take, I don't legitimately feel like I'll actually be able to do Tears of Guthix for a week. So in a way, I'm kind of wasting XP. The alternative would be to get my smithing up a little bit, as well as my construction. But I've got a plan right now, and I'm just in full focus mode, and I can't be arsed. I've got to get this screen off my inventory. Good old inventory viewer. Very good for the flax make, but not great if you're not, not actually actively using it. So let's see if we can get ourselves a new high score. I believe my current high score is 138, something like that. So wish me luck. 159, not too bad. I think I got a little bit carried from the fact that I have more quest points than last time, but still pretty happy with that. It is a bit sucky that it's going into smithing, but at the same time, I kind of just know myself. Like, I know if I start a grind, it's very sticky and it's hard to like deviate from my plan, and I like to segment things and make sure I go from start to finish. The fact that I'm even going to move on to High Alking during Hunter Rumors before getting all my bows complete at once, I mean, that's a milestone in its own right. But anyway, we'll take the 53 smithing for now. I'm curious, I'll pay a little bit of attention to like whether or not I do complete the relevant side grinds to get my smithing as well as my construction up before my herb lore. I kind of want to see if I actually wasted XP, but I guess we'll find out in a week's time where we're at. Although I should say it definitely needs to be a priority to get these two skills up. I can't keep having repeats of this week happening over and over again. The herb lore experience is just too valuable. Speaking of things that are quite valuable, here's another fletching level. 83 is done. No additional unlocks for that one, but also of note, we got to 1700 total, as well as cracking the 50 moon total EXP mark. This account is coming along quite nicely. I don't know, man. I feel like I've gone from like super baby mode Ironman to like, I really feel like I'm on the cusp of like getting heavy into those like later mid-game portions of the game. It's a weird transition that I didn't notice occurring, but it's just occurring now. I feel like 1700 is kind of like that total level where you start to flip that switch. But anyway, we're going to keep fletching. There's many more thousands of bows that need to be made. Alright, promise me not to ask any questions. I'm just all over the place right now. I've got so many bows to make, yet I'm here mining a star. On the plus side, it has netted us 91 mining. One more level to go until we hit the amethyst threshold. Nothing for 91 itself though. What the fuck? I thought I just talked to the star for a second there. The bloody pet. Oh my goodness, how does he do a transition that smooth? Anyway, one last final thing to confuse the crap out of you right now is that Jagex have recently buffed the mining gloves, and this sent me into a tailspin and made me just absolutely fiend to get my mining up. That's a sentence I didn't think I'd ever say in my life. So with the click-through method that I'm demonstrating right now, what I've done is shift right-clicked the rocks when they're empty and set the option to walk here. What that means is that every time that I left-click the rock, it will click through the rock if it has been mined. But anyway, there is 56 herb lore. If you're curious about what that meant just then, type it in the comment and it's me or someone else will fix you up with an explanation of how that works. So that's what enables me to not have to move my mouse here. But all in all, we got to ourselves the 92 mining threshold, which has unlocked amethyst, the thing that I've been chasing down for a long time. But anyway, this video has gone on long enough. We'll get stuck into the Hunter Rumors next episode. It's going to be a big one. But thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.